Hey everybody, I'm back, and today's video topic is weight loss, weight gain, and exercise, which includes exercise intolerance in benzodiazepine and psych drug withdrawal and recovery. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you may have noticed that I've changed a lot over the years. So in the very beginning, when I first created this channel close to 4 years ago, crazy, I'm probably looked a little different than I do now. I had a different mentality, different outlook on withdrawal, and a different level of ability. So at that time, when I first started, I was working in an office, my office. I was able to walk quite a lot, actually. I was, undergoing a lot of symptoms, a lot of cognitive issues were really dominant for me in the beginning of this journey. I was more physically strong and able-bodied, but it was real cognitive stuff. So as time went on, I experienced some definite upticks in symptoms around like cardiovascular activity, crashes. It just got to be more and more problematic to exercise at the level that I was used to before I went into withdrawal. So I was an avid dancer. I took a dance class once or twice a day. I did lots of different styles of dance. I also just did cardio. I ran on the treadmill. I ran on the street. I always rode a bicycle. I did yoga, Pilates, so very active. I would even have considered myself to be really athletic. Athletic body type, athletic minded. It was always a way that I coped because I have always had a more hyper aroused nervous system, which is why I was put on benzodiazepine for like complex PTSD, which did, from childhood stuff, which did kind of make me a little bit more revvy, not anxious, but I just had a lot of like extra energy, and I would, as a positive coping tool, I would just exercise. Like that always helped me to kind of get me back to homeostasis. So through this withdrawal journey, I've gone from, being able to walk several miles a day through my taper to slowly over time having more and more exercise intolerance to now post antibiotic. It is really like one of my biggest, I have several like big ticket items that are my big symptoms that have lingered, and one of them is exercise intolerance. And each time I go into a wave, it just takes longer and longer and longer to get back to having some kind of, ability to walk, to exercise. Now, some people, they're really different and they can continue to exercise. They can, I even know people who've been in setbacks who, like one particular friend, and he really feels like exercise helps him. He's also more on the akathisia side. I'm a little bit more on the chronic fatigue syndrome side. I think there's kind of like two camps. Like there's some people who have so much energy they have to be constantly moving, and then there's some of us who kind of are the crash. If we do too much, we crash. So for me, I just can't do a lot. So that brings me to weight loss and weight gain, and I have gone through both big time in withdrawal. I went through my worst ever weight loss after the antibiotic. That was severe. I never experienced anything like that in my life. I lost probably 10 pounds in a week and a half. I couldn't eat. I wasn't able to eat above 500 calories for a really long time. My entire digestive system completely shut down, and it took me months to recover from that. Now, once I started to eat again, I, put weight back on, and now I'm like over my normal weight. I've never seen my arms look like this before. I've always had like small arms, and I'm like, I have like a big arm. I've never seen my shoulders look like this. I'm just bigger. My lower body, you know, everything is bigger for me. And I know that's because I'm just not exercising and I'm not able to be as active. So these are just really common things that I hear from other people. Issues with exercise, huge. You know, increasing symptoms. And one of the things that I've heard someone say is that it's because we adrenalize really quickly. So depending on your level of injury, you might be somebody like myself who's been kindled several times and might have a deep level of injury. My body adrenalizes really quickly. So even if I'm just walking up and down the street, there's a lot of adrenaline, and I don't have enough working GABA receptors to modulate, and so it ends up like crashing my system. So, you know, and who knows, that's just a hypothesis, but that kind of makes sense to me. I can see that. So I have to actually consciously downregulate myself, not expecting the GABA to kick in and do it for me unconsciously. When I was, you know, dancing all the time, my body would just naturally come back to homeostasis. And I'd go on with my day. Maybe I'd take a second dance class later, like be out that night dancing. It didn't matter because I had working GABA receptors. So now I have to, you know, if I go for a walk, and I can do about a mile. I got up to 2 miles in my last window, and then I kind of went backwards. I have to be the one to actually take my body back down. So that means stretching, resting, meditating, like all the things to help my nervous system cool back down because it doesn't have its own braking system that's working. So exercise intolerance is a really big one. Weight loss, especially in acute phases, is really big. And you know, when I had that experience of weight loss I had never had before, I went on Benzo buddies and the Facebook groups and found out like how common it was for people, especially in acute, to just lose and just drop weight. I mean, you know, we're talking some people 50, 60, 70 pounds. I went down, I lost about 20 pounds, which that's a big amount for me. I'm not like a very big person. I didn't start off with a ton of weight to lose. And then weight gain, that's a big thing too. So, you know, now I'm like eating, but I don't eat, like I don't overeat. I don't indulge. I'm not eating sweets. I'm not eating like I was before when I had a super high metabolism and I was dancing all the time. I just eat very, very clean, but I'm not that active. So weight gain can be an issue too. So anyway, that's just kind of what's going on with this topic. I'd love to hear from you. What is your experience with exercise? What is your experience with weight loss and weight gain? I do wish that somebody had told me, maybe they did, but maybe I wasn't listening. I don't remember. But right when I got off the taper up until 6 months, I did a lot of exercise and then I crashed. And I really kind of wish that I knew to pace and to not overdo it and to not worry, because I had gained a little bit of weight. Like, don't worry so much about the weight. I think that would be my takeaway message for you is if you have gained weight and you start to feel a little bit better, maybe don't overdo it. Because like our heads are telling us, oh, I don't look all hot and amazing like I did before, so therefore I must jump on that treadmill, and our bodies might not be ready for that. That's what's happened to me. So now I know, screw it, I have a couple extra pounds. I would much rather be a little chunky than to be sick in bed like I have been. So, trying to keep it mellow. That is my video for today. Peace, everybody. Let me know how you are and leave a message in the comments. Okay, bye.